All right, everyone. We start off today talking about Kamala Harris. The other day, she was clearly inebriated when she was addressing people. She relapsed into a southern twang accent for no particular apparent reason. She was completely incoherent. Link in the description. Watch it for yourself. It's a short clip of part of her speaking. And she's talking mainly about guns and stuff like that, but she's usually off the rails. Like, she has trouble having, like, a linear, clear narrative that she actually tells people. And so she tends to deviate wildly. Like, she'll be talking about one thing and then like she'll bounce to another subject or whatever. She's not a coherent speaker. She never was. She got beaten in the vice presidential debate by Mike Pence, of all people, for a reason. But this, somehow she became less coherent. And I can guarantee you 100% chance that she's inebriated in this particular clip. There's no question in my mind. She's slurring her speech. She's substituting S and T. That's kind of a tell linguistically for inebriation in many cases. Depends on the accent, the language, etc. But for Kamala, you understand what I mean. She's like losing her train of thought. And I would guess, based on my experience with alcohol, of which I have a great deal, I've struggled with alcoholism in the past, I've admitted to this before, I would say she, based on her, well, gender, I hate to tell you, but women can't drink as much as men. Their livers are physically smaller. That's a sticking point for, the gender deniers, perhaps. I would say she had like 3 good stiff ones before this. 3.5 or so. I don't know what she drinks. That's the big speculation. We know Hillary Clinton likes wine. She likes Chardonnay. Elizabeth Warren claims to like Rolling Rock or some piss beer, but I have a feeling she's more on the champagne side. With Kamala, I think like she's getting like, I don't know, hard iced tea or something like that. Like, I have a feeling that she does like the ratchet ass drinks. Like a fucking Mike's Hard cranberry lemonade or something pissy like that. I have a feeling that's more her MO, which is funny because she was, a big-time prosecutor. So she has to wear a suit to work and stuff, but then she gets home and she's getting hammered, she's getting slamma-jamma. She managed to make herself even less coherent than normal. It's not entirely clear a couple of times in this little clip what she's actually referring to. Well, I think that it's not against the Second Amendment. It's not hating guns when you try to rob people of guns. Well, that would be an incoherent message delivered stone cold sober by somebody who's an entire teetotaler. But with Kamala Harris, it gets far worse than that. This is definitely alcohol that you're seeing. And I have a feeling that I know why. Kamala Harris is getting smashed because she has to deal... Behind closed doors right now, the Biden administration is in goddamn meltdown mode. It's metastasized to the point where normally what would be like, okay, the DOJ came out and said that Joe Biden's memory is shot. He can't stand trial because he is literally mentally incapable of doing so. He doesn't even remember where he fucking is. She's the vice president. So I imagine to cope with the stress of what's going on behind closed doors, let alone what's going on in the public square, where even the liberal legacy media is questioning whether Biden should be running at all. And they're like, well, are we really sure? There's one, look at the RCP headlines right now. Great example. There's like 5 pieces on it. Try to find the one that's defending Joe Biden's cognitive state. They've abandoned ranks. They're fleeing right now. They've been scattered, which is why I expect the Republicans to come out and do something stupid because they don't enjoy winning. Especially the neocons. They don't want to win because they want to screw Orange Man right now. I thought it was funny, and I'll be talking about it separately. Hillary actually giving Biden some good advice, which dates back to the Reagan administration, actually. Problem being that Joe Biden's not as aware as Ronald Reagan was when he was running for re-election, so I don't think he can pull it off. But actually some good advice. Well, just lean into the elderly thing and make jokes about it. Oh, that would be great if Joe Biden were capable of delivering a joke and not wandering off and saying something insane. He apparently likes his alcohol too. You remember when he was at the booze factory there with all the kegs of beer or whatever it was, and he was listening to the beer keg tell him what to do. Before he wandered off stage. It's no joke. Goddamn, look it up. And I was like, all right, clearly these people are not playing with a full deck. Kamala never does. It doesn't really matter if she's sober or not. And part of it is not cognitive in her case. she's too young to have profound cognitive difficulties. Part of it is just she's a poor speaker. In the interpersonal sense, she's just not really capable of getting a point across. Like, she's the antithesis of charisma. That's basically the way to put it. She's not well-spoken, again, to the point where boring Mike Pence is capable of running roughshod over her, fucking bulldozing her, and it's the one good thing that he ever did when he was running mate. And the only shining moment was that brief hour in time where Mike Pence was the intelligent person in the room. It was a very strange day that day. But she's wasted. She clearly drank before she gave this conference to pontificate on the subject of guns and how she doesn't hate guns. I don't hate guns. I'm just saying that, half the guns that are on the market should be illegal. It's kind of contradictory, but she manages to get that across to the liberal voters. But you've got to actually be capable of delivering the message to get the point across. And she looked more like she was trying to channel her inner televangelist. She's waving her hands around, relapsing into that southern twang there. I can't remember which audience she was speaking to. There's probably a reason for that. And talking about guns. That's fine. Hillary Clinton has done the twang thing. Nikki Haley has done that. Politicians really love to change their stripes depending on the audience they're in front of. So the way in which they talk, like when Hillary Clinton went on the podcast there with a mostly black audience, and she starts talking in a twang, saying, I'm a southern chick, I'm from Dixie, well, Arkansas, I guess, and I carry hot sauce in my handbag. It's basically the same thing that you're getting with Kamala here, only she's so drunk that she doesn't even know exactly where she is. Although I will say this, this is in her defense. In order to be as incoherent as Joe Biden, Kamala has to get a couple of stiff ones up in her. I guarantee Jill doesn't allow Joe to drink. Or use probably, other than the CIA super drugs that they pump him full of when he does a public appearance, he's not allowed to have any fun anymore. Those days are over. So he's not allowed to smoke the joint like Obama probably did in the White House. He probably chuckled when he did as well. He's not allowed to slam down the coke like JFK or something like that. His drug is bran muffin and prune juice. Jill sees to that because she's like, oh, we need to make your poopy now. Otherwise, I might wake up with something slimy in the bed, and I'm not interested in that shit, Joe. I'm not an anal enthusiast. We're all hoping that Jill retains sound mind, so at least somebody in the White House won't be a complete goddamn disaster. I have a feeling that Jill Biden is the sane person in the room in the White House right now. Like, she probably disproportionately calls a lot of the shots. That's why I think that she chuffs at the fact that Kamala Harris is even the VP, because clearly they don't like each other. And again, Kamala's more of like, she drinks, the Mike's hard lemonade, and Jill is she's more like Elizabeth Warren. I think she's more of a wine tippler or something like that. But if you watch this, there's no denying, none of you can possibly debate the fact that Kamala had one too many before this. This is the current state of the executive branch of the United States, which is rather sad now, isn't it? That's about all. Peace out.